The 2025 version of Robert Lewandowski is incredible.
Balde with a cross, Lewandowski with a header, it's 2-0!
Balde with a good-looking cross towards the back post, cross the face of goal, Lewandowski's there! What a ball over the top from Lamine Yamal, brilliantly taken by Lewandowski!
While many people might be shocked that Robert Lewandowski is still playing so good at such an old age, for Hansi Flick, this isn't something new. Why? Well, that's because Hansi Flick has a secret strategy for Lewandowski, one that he used for him even back in their Bayern days. It's why, despite being 36 years old, the Polish striker just can't stop scoring. In the 2024 season, Lewandowski looked finished. I thought that brother was ready to learn Arabic. He was missing the easiest chances. Opportunities that were normally his bread and butter became missed moments. Some people might look at his stats and go, well, he still scored 26 goals in all competitions. But I'm telling you, he could have easily had 30, 40 plus had he been more clinical. In fact, historically, it was the lowest goal tally for Lewandowski since his 2015 season at Bayern. Like, we're talking about having to go back a decade to see a lower output season from the Polish monster. It's a testament to how good he is, the fact that 19 goals in the league was considered a poor season for him. But despite this drop-off, he's gone into the 2025 season looking like a beast again. There is no striker in better form than Lewandowski. I mean, he went into the Alaves home ground and scored a hat-trick on them like he's still 28 years old.
On off to one side there, the ball going forward, he'll set up Lewandowski. Ball play through, Lewandowski, can he get the hat-trick?
He also already has double-digit goals. He's not just scoring against the smaller teams, he's scoring against everyone. He scored against Bayern Munich, scored in the El Clasico. He is back, playing at the same level that we saw him play in 2020 when he should have won the Ballon d'Or. But that brings up the question, had we written off Lewandowski too early? So what exactly happened to him? How did he go from a player who couldn't hit the side of a barn door to being back to his best? Well, there's one man we can thank for it, German manager Hansi Flick. Flick and Lua have a bond that goes well before both of them joined Barcelona. Like I said before, in the 2020 season, Lewandowski wasn't just the best number 9 on the planet, he was flat out the best player. We're talking about a player that got 55 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. The only reason we didn't see him crowned as the best player, see him up on that podium lifting the Ballon d'Or, was because the award was cancelled that year due to COVID. Maybe Lewandowski will be given the award by France Football when he retires. But the main point to take away is that Lua enjoyed the best point of his career with Hansi Flick as his manager. Flick knew exactly how to utilize him. He wasn't just a striker, but a complete well-rounded forward. He would drop deep to link up with the build-up play. He could get him behind defenders. He was a threat from the air. There was no weakness in his game. He could score with his right foot, left foot, head the ball. But unfortunately, Hansi Flick ended up leaving Bayern Munich. After Flick left, Lewandowski left too, to start a new chapter in his career, joining Football Club Barcelona. In the beginning, it looked great. He won the Pichichi under Xavi and helped Barcelona win La Liga. But while he had made an immediate impact in his first season, the second season he was under scrutiny. There were rumors about him being sold and that Barcelona were already looking for a replacement. This was proven in January of 2024 when Barcelona made a move to pick up Vitor Roque from Brazil. There was a ton of hype around this youngster, with Real Madrid picking up Endrick. There was a feeling that Roque might be the next big thing. In fact, there was a lot of pressure on the young Brazilian because Lewandowski was struggling so much. So what happened? How did Lewandowski go from a player that looked like he was about to get sold to being one of the first names on the team sheet? Well, he realized that he had to adapt his game. At the age of 36, he wasn't getting any younger. He probably seems even older than what he is because he's surrounded by so much youth within the club. Lua realized his responsibilities went way beyond goal scoring. He also had to help mentor the youth. And Flick has even reminded him of that. But while everyone appreciates a good mentor in the locker room, as the number 9 for Barcelona, people expect goals. Well, Lewandowski has not disappointed in that department. He averages 1.57 goal contributions per 90, which actually ranks him in the 99th percentile of all players. For this metric, a goal contribution is considered either an actual goal or an assist. He's also got an expected goal of 1.13 per 90. This metric just means based on the opportunities Lewandowski finds himself in, plus the positions he takes up, you can expect about a goal per 90 minutes from him, which is crazy. The numbers get even better when we take a more detailed look. Lewandowski's start to the season has been so good that the only time that he's had a better start was during his 2020-2021 season at Bayern. When Lua's on the pitch, you're basically guaranteed a goal. Either he'll score it himself or he'll create for others. He looks to be enjoying his football again, and why wouldn't he? Barca have so many creative players that are able to create opportunities for him. Whether it's Rafinha on the left, Yamal on the right, or Olmo through the middle, Lou has been able to link up with all of these guys at the highest level. Since Flick's 4-2-3-1 system is so much more dynamic than Xavi's rigid 4-3-3, Lewandowski has more freedom. Lewandowski isn't forced to just stick up top. He can come deep to collect the ball. He can interchange with Rafinha, Olmo, Yamal. This allows the Barca team as a whole to be much more unpredictable, but it lets Lewandowski get touches on the ball in better positions. Combine Lewandowski's excellent positioning with these pockets of space that open up because of Flick's tactics, it's not surprising to see why Barca is scoring so many goals. When you're giving an elite number 9 this kind of service, it's a recipe for success. As Lewandowski's gotten older, he's also become more clever with his positioning and when he links up with the play. With this goal right here, you might focus on Kubarsi's wonderful through ball or Rafinha's excellent finish, but it's really Lewandowski's positioning that allows the space to be created. He can now impact the game even when he isn't directly scoring. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said that when Lewandowski plays under Flick, he becomes a complete forward. Lewandowski's been so good that there's been way more talk about the 36-year-old than about the major signing that Real Madrid just made in Kylian Mbappe. Everyone thought Mbappe would come to La Liga and on a team that had won the double, he would just score goals for fun. But really, he's playing second best to Lewandowski. Mbappe really came to La Liga hoping he could follow in the footsteps of Ronaldo, yet he's being outscored by a guy who's getting gray hairs. Lua's numbers look even better when you compare him to the other top attackers in Europe. Despite being closer to 40 than 30, Lewandowski has more league goals than Erling Haaland, who's supposed to be in his prime. Not only more goals, but even more assists. People really kept talking about how after Messi vs Ronaldo we're going to move into the Erling Haaland vs Mbappe era, but Lewandowski has something to say about that. Lewandowski is honestly flying. His stats look amazing and his performances look even better through the eye test. He might not be the most dynamic footballer in the world, but he still covers a lot of ground. He tracks back when he has to. He's the first line of pressure. I mean, think about it. Hansi Flick's system is all about press, and this 36-year-old is doing it without breaking a sweat. It's not an easy task for anybody. It requires a lot of strength and stamina. Yet Lewandowski is matching the pace of all these youngsters around him, all these La Masia players, these people in their teenage years. Lewandowski doesn't look out of place. He went from missing chances for fun to now scoring every single chance you get him. I bet someone like Yamal loves playing with Lewandowski because he's strong enough to hold up the play if you give him a short pass, but you can also give him a cross in the air and he can finish that opportunity as well. Rafinha probably loves him too. I mean, think about all the pockets of space that have opened up that he can run into due to Lewandowski's positioning. Even Lua, he's as hungry as these young guys. He wants to keep scoring and showing that he's nowhere near being finished.
Still, I have this fire in my inside that I want more.
When you listen to him talk in interviews, talking about his performances and what he's been doing, he doesn't sound like a guy who's getting towards the back end of his career, but rather like someone who enjoys every aspect of still playing. That fire and hunger to succeed, it's still in him, and it shows every single time he steps on the pitch. There's definitely a chip on his shoulder as well, because he wants to silence all the people that were doubting him in the previous season. To be honest, I don't blame him. I think a lot of Barcelona fans already had him photoshopped in an Al Ittihad jersey thinking he's going to go to Saudi. But Lewandowski, he's just built different. He doesn't let the critics put him down, but rather uses it as motivation to show that he can still perform at the highest level. Maybe it's still early, but the front three of Rafinha, Yamal, and Lewandowski is the best in the world. Barca haven't had a trio this lethal since the MSN era. I'm not saying that these three are as good as MSN, I'm just saying that after Suarez and Neymar both left, it was pretty much Messi for a number of years, and then after Messi, nobody. Lewandowski has opened up about his relationship with Rafinha and Yamal. The three of them have a great connection and it shows on the pitch. With each player having a different profile, they complement each other really well. The link-up play, it's a joy to watch. You got Yamal who's great on the ball at dribbling. You have Rafinha who's fast, can get him behind and can finish the ball. And then you got Lewandowski. You combine the dribbler with the runner and the finisher, and it's like you collected the Infinity Stones. Statistically, nobody can deny that they are the most informed trio in the world of football right now. It's a crazy development when you think about it, given what happened to Lewandowski in the 2024 season. If Barca really had ended up selling him, we wouldn't have seen this trio play. And it would have been a shame, because Lewandowski's move to Barcelona was really fueled by his love for the club.
Of course, after so many years in Bayern Munich, for me also was not so easy to change the club, but I know it and I wanted always to play in La Liga.
I mean, think about it. He could have stayed at Bayern, been comfortable, kept scoring goal after goal against the Bundesliga teams, but instead, he he decided to join Barcelona. Now Barcelona is a massive club, but at the time that Lewandowski joined, there was a lot of financial problems. It's not like he was joining the current Barcelona team. He was joining the club at one of their lowest points. There were even reports that Lewandowski accepted a lower salary just so that he can join the club. What a nice guy. Barcelona essentially got one of the best number 9s in the world at a discount. This is just how Lewandowski operates. He's a unique individual. And there's something about his game that I don't think a lot of people are noticing. The fact is that Lewandowski having an incredible start to the season isn't anything new. It's something he has done over and over again. What's important isn't the fact that he always has good starts, but how he's able to maintain his form throughout the season. And there's one man in Flick's staff who is responsible for helping Lewandowski maintain his form as the season goes on. Julio is the new head fitness coach for Barcelona. He has been hard at work to get the players in the best possible physical shape. As a result, just like the rest of the team, Lewandowski looks fitter than ever. In previous seasons, Barcelona had a fitness issue, especially in the Champions League. Against the bigger clubs, they would consistently concede after the 75th minute. Players would get fatigued and as a result, would switch off mentally. Under Flick though, the team looks sharper. These guys all run like they have a third lung. I'm pretty sure this team needs to be drug tested. Thanks to being in peak physical shape, Lewandowski transformed into a monster. When it comes to longevity, people always talk about Ronaldo, but Lewandowski is also one of those players who's addicted to staying in shape. I mean, it does help that even his wife is a fitness instructor. It's a pretty simple formula. When Lewandowski's fit, he's able to think clearer and he's able to perform better. And when Lewandowski plays better, that means goals, which translates directly into wins. He looks hungrier than ever, not just to score goals, but to break records. His 2 goals against Sevilla put him on 366 goals in Europe's top flight. On that list, there's actually only 2 other players ahead of Lewandowski, and that's Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. That kind of puts into context how ridiculous Lewandowski's longevity has been, because the 2 guys ahead of him, well, they don't even play in Europe anymore. Unlike those 2 though, Lewandowski has never looked sharper and fitter. This was easily proven when he helped Barcelona demolish his former club. Beating Bayern in the Champions League is no small feat, considering the history between the 2 clubs in recent years. So Thomas Muller can laugh as much as he wants. Lewandowski got the last laugh. Bayern came into that game thinking they're going to recreate history again, but Barcelona had a plan for them. While Rafinha got all the headlines, I mean, as he should, he scored a hat-trick, I don't want people to forget that Lewandowski also scored. Honestly, he probably could have even scored more if he had been a little bit more clinical. But hey, we can't be too picky. So what's the secret? What is it about the relationship between Lewandowski and Hansi Flick that just gets the best out of both of them? I honestly think it comes down to just trust. Some players just thrive when they have a manager who they know has full faith in their ability. For Lewandowski, Hansi Flick is the guy that has full belief in the Polish striker's abilities. Anytime Flick speaks about Lewandowski, it's nothing but positive praise. And it's been the case ever since the 2 of them were at Bayern. And now at Barca, nothing has changed. Despite the way Lewandowski was viewed in the 2024 season and the fact that he's 36 years old, Hansi Flick still has full faith in the striker's abilities. But on top of believing in the striker, the system is also incredibly important.
No, with Hansi always that the idea is always to attack, to scoring a lot of goals, to create a lot of situation.
Lewandowski is the type of player that requires service. He's an out-and-out number 9. He's somebody that needs others to create for him. He's not gonna just come deep, collect the ball, dribble past 50 players like he's Lionel Messi. Lua is good at making runs, his positioning is excellent, and as a result, he needs players that can pick him out when he gets into those good positions. He knows where to find the spaces. Lewandowski knows this, and Hansi Flick knows this about Lewandowski's game. As a result, Flick has instructed the team to be far more direct. There's no reason to keep passing the ball around, keeping possession for possession's sake. The direct approach suits Lewandowski's game much more because the team is constantly going forward and they're able to utilize the spaces that Lewandowski both creates for others and the spaces he finds himself in. While Lewandowski wasn't the most clinical in the 2024 season, you can make the argument that part of the reason that he wasn't performing was that Xavi's Barca did not create enough chances. The slow possession-based system that Xavi used in his 4-3-3 just didn't really benefit Lua's game. Still keep in mind though, despite this, Lua was the club's top goal scorer, but that was part of the problem. They relied heavily on Lewandowski to get all the goals. Meanwhile, in Flick's system, anybody can score. Xavi's Barca would keep possession right in front of the opponents, and everybody in the stadium knew that they're eventually going to want to get the ball to Lewandowski. Flick's system though is much more dynamic, with players constantly interchanging, the opponent cannot predict the pattern of play. Frustrated with the lack of service, Lewandowski would sometimes drop deep, and that just isn't the best part of his game. Sure, he can do it, but that's not where you want him to be consistently. This frustration was the root of the reports that came out saying that Lewandowski was potentially considering leaving in the summer of 2024. But ever since Flick's arrival, he's been given more freedom, he gets better service, he's scoring more goals. There's not an over-reliance on the team for Lua to score. Everybody has the capabilities of creating chances, getting in the right opportunities. It's why when you look at the goal and assist contributions from the front three, it's pretty spread out. Just look at the fact that Rafinha's hat-trick against Bayern was actually his second hat-trick of the season. Add in Olmo, Yamal, Fermin Lopez, and even Pedri at times, and you can see that the goal scoring is spread out among the rest of the team. That's the benefit of a dynamic system. Everybody can chip in. Barca are creating so many chances now that every single game they're scoring for fun. La Liga is famous for having some of the ugliest looking low blocks in European football, yet Lewandowski and Barca are scoring for fun every single game. It looks like they're playing Ultimate Team on amateur. Creating this many chances when you have an elite number 9 up front is like a cheat code. We saw that even in a season where Lewandowski was struggling and the system as a whole wasn't the best, he was still scoring goals. So now imagine what he can achieve in a system that is not only dynamic, but led by a manager who has complete faith in Lewandowski's abilities no matter what his age is. Flick has belief not just in Lewandowski's abilities as a striker, but his abilities as a leader. I mean, look at the fact that he's the captain of the Poland national team. In a team with so many youngsters, you need someone like Lewandowski to teach him about professionalism. Who better to learn from than a guy who at the age of 36 still has a six-pack? Still going like he's only 28 years old. You can only maintain this level of longevity by being obsessed. Obsessed not just with playing football, but being in shape, by taking care of your health, treating your body like a temple. Think about it, this is a league where Mbappe in his first season is struggling, despite being in his prime, despite being considered by many as the best player in the world. It's not easy to play in La Liga, despite how easy it might look for Lewandowski and Barcelona to score goals, they're doing it because of their skill. Now Lewandowski, he's not the only player to be rejuvenated by Flick's presence. Flick has completely transformed everyone in this team, improving every single player from guys who were regulars last season to players that you didn't even know about. To see just how he's made Barcelona so great again, you have to check out this video right here.